Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And yeah, we're gonna be talking about it today. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, yesterday, a bombshell just exploded right on my lap as I was there getting ready to actually go to bed. I was sitting there on the couch, and all of a sudden, one of the newest members of the team here at Dreamerspro, he sends me a message, and he goes, Shannon Sharpe is leaving Undisputed. Now, mind you, I was getting ready to go to bed. I look at the phone. I'm like, what? Like 4 or 5 question marks. Then he forwards the link from Instagram saying that he was going to leave. So what do? I did what pretty much anyone else that's covering sports when they found out that news. I ran to the nearest computer, started researching it, and I found out that it was 100% valid, that he was leaving. And we did a live, and we reacted to it, and at one point in that live, we had 4,700 people watching us live, and at one point I thought it was fake. I'm like, there's no way this many people could be watching us right now. I couldn't even believe it. But then we found out that, in fact, it was true. Now, as we were going through that live, a particular question kept on reoccurring in the comment section, which was, what happened? Why is he leaving? What caused him to leave? What's the reason for him leaving, right? People wanted to know that bit of information. And at the time, when the story first broke, we didn't have any of that information. Although we were reading from various sources like the New York Post at the time, we didn't really know the exact details. So I woke up this morning, was just kind of like recovering from that tsunami last night. And I was going through the internet here, and I came across a clip, because I googled the show to find out if anything else was being said about it. So I came across a clip here from the New York Post sports channel. So apparently the New York Post has a sports YouTube channel, and I started listening to this clip. And as I was listening to this clip, one of the reporters that was actually covering this story actually released some pertinent information as to why Shannon Sharpe decided to go in a different direction than Skip Bayless. So what we want to do is want to play what this reporter from the New York Post had to say here, and then we're going to come back and give you guys our thoughts on what he had to say. So take a listen to that there.
And Ryan, straight up, what happened here? What led to this breakup?
So I think, the whole purpose of the show is contentious debate, and the show works at its best when the two have genuine friction. And so I think for a number of years they were able to coexist really successfully for a while, with Shannon basically being, the new partner, whereas Skip had been with Stephen A. Smith for a number of years at ESPN. The friction really boiled over during this past football season when they had a contentious debate about Damar Hamlin. I guess I wouldn't even call it a debate, a contentious segment. And at that time, I think it just became clear that Shannon had had enough on the show. Basically, the way it works behind the scenes is I think Shannon probably felt that he deserved equal consideration as Skip when it comes to the planning of the show and the debate topics. Now, I think that on the show, they did seem to me to be booked as equals, but you can definitely tell that there's just so many topics that are ones that are Skip that is more into than Shannon. And I think that ate at Shannon over the years. Now, I don't know that, it's not like I spoke to Shannon about that, but that's kind of been my impression in my reporting. And so I think it just came to a head with that Hamlin situation. And from that point, it became a matter of when and not if Shannon was going to move on from the show.
And the other part of this that you reported is that Shannon is expected to be out after the NBA Finals this year in June. So my follow-up question to all this is, what happens with this show Undisputed and Skip Bayless?
So the short answer is I don't know, but the long answer is my guess just from observing these things for a while, I feel like look, there's no clear replacement in mind that you can name. There's nobody who has ever filled in for Shannon on the show and debated Skip on FS1. Shannon was the natural partner for Skip at the beginning of this show because they had worked together when Stephen A was out on First Take, and they had good chemistry and the numbers were good. And so what I would expect to happen now is a rotating cast of debate opponents for Bayless, because you see what happened with Stephen A. Smith, where Max Kellerman left the show, and now it's the Stephen A. show, and he's kind of taking on all comers, or sometimes there's 3 people at a time and it's 2-on-1 or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a rotating cast of get with Bayless for at least the time being. And then maybe if there's one that he finds magic with, they could use that as his permanent debate partner. But I'd be surprised if there's a permanent replacement named imminently.
So you heard what the reporter had to say. Here are my thoughts. I think Shannon Sharpe, I think this was a long time coming. As a matter of fact, I saw an article this morning, I believe it was via fadeawayworld.net, where even Kyrie Irving reacted to the story, and he said it's about time, like it shouldn't have taken this long, right, for Shannon Sharpe to move on. I think we've all kind of seen this day coming based on the various blow-ups that have been taking place on television between Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe over the years. And at least, forget about over the years, over the last few months. We had the DeMar Hamlin situation that occurred in January. That was huge. And then we had, when they were going back and forth, and then Skip Bayless took a very personal shot at Shannon Sharpe when they were arguing back and forth about Tom Brady. And then he even told him to put his glasses back. We all know it, right? We could see that it was beginning to get a little bit messy between the two of them. And we could see that there were moments in time where Shannon Sharpe was really struggling to keep his composure on that show while dealing with Skip Bayless, right? That Skip Bayless was not an easy person, in fact, to work with. So none of us were surprised when it came to that. But now that we're hearing that, these gentlemen are going to go their own separate ways. And the last time we are ever going to see Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed will be at the month of June after the NBA Finals conclude. After that, we will never see Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless together on a television show. I think it's a wake-up call, right? I think it's a wake-up call even for Shannon Sharpe. Now, I don't know if Shannon Sharpe requested to leave, if it was a mutual, breakup. We don't know that yet. I'm sure we're going to find out more information as time goes on. But now Shannon Sharpe is going to be the hottest free agent out there, and I think it's up to him to kind of make a decision on whether or not he wants to go work at another network, or if he's ready to take the show on the road and really try to see where he can take his Club Shay Shay to, in terms of, can he take it to the next level? As y'all know, that's the one thing he will be able to leave with, which is Club Shay Shay, right? He will be able to leave with that channel, all of the other various social media tentacles that are connected to that show. I think it's TikTok, Instagram, etc. So we're going to have to see if Shannon Sharpe is willing to go the independent route and really leverage what he's built with his show and take it to the next level, or is he going to try to do something that a JJ Redick is doing, which is essentially doing your own thing on the side and then going and working at another network. This is something that we have to wait and see, right? No one really knows what Shannon Sharpe is going to do, but I don't think he's just going to fade into obscurity and just totally disappear, right? I don't think that's going to happen. I also heard some people reacting to the story, basically saying, some people are saying they're happy that Shannon Sharpe's gone. Other people are saying they're no longer going to watch that show. Other people are coming out there with various combinations of what they think they can do in terms of getting Skip Bayless another partner. And we have to wait and see who's going to be the replacement for Shannon Sharpe, or if they're even going to continue to do the show. No one knows any of this because the news is so fresh. I saw a segment today with the two of them on Undisputed at the beginning of the show. Obviously, this is what they normally do. People act like as if they don't know what's going on. The same thing with when Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. Ultimately, we found out that they weren't going to be working together anymore. They remain professional on television, but obviously we know that there's a lot of things happening in the background. I don't think this was something that was abrupt. The reason I don't believe it's something abrupt is because he was bought out. And I don't believe that you can just buy out somebody like, okay, I want to leave. Okay, it's over. Okay, here, take your money and leave. No, I think we've been coming to this place for a very long time, which means that it must have been something that compounded over time, right? It must have been something that compounded over time. I don't think it was one incident. I think it was probably an amalgamation of incidents that caused Shannon Sharpe to probably say, hey, listen, this thing is just not working out, right? Because for sure he was not the A side of this partnership. He certainly was not. It was Skip Bayless. If you listen to the story about the inception of that show, you will know that Skip Bayless recruited Shannon Sharpe, that the network itself wanted to go with a football guy that was a journalist. And Skip Bayless said, no, Shannon Sharpe is the guy that I want. We also know that Skip Bayless gave Shannon Sharpe the idea to do Club Shay Shay because Shannon Sharpe mentioned this on All the Smoke podcast, right? So I think Shannon felt this level of loyalty to Skip over the years because they were together for about 7 years now. So I think Shannon felt that, but I do believe that when Skip took those personal shots at him on television, I believe that Shannon Sharpe was genuinely hurt. And that's the reason why he said, Skip, really? Really, Skip, you gonna do that to me? Really, Skip? And I think Shannon Sharpe, learned the lesson that maybe the way he viewed Skip, in friendship terms was not the same way Skip viewed him. Maybe Skip viewed him as someone that he was, friendly with at work, and that's it. But we're not buddy-buddy, we're not friends, right? And maybe that was a lesson that Shannon Sharpe needed to learn. I don't know. I'm just speculating on all of this from afar, which is pretty much what everyone else is doing, watching this thing unfold. So these are my thoughts and opinions on this. So the question is simply this to you guys. What do you think Shannon Sharpe's next move is going to be? Do you think he's going to go sign with another network? Do you think he's going to go independent? And ultimately, how do you think Undisputed is going to end up turning out? Do you think they're going to be able to get a suitable replacement for Shannon Sharpe? Do you think they're going to cancel the show? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.